Hello and welcome. Today I want to show how D4E SQL can be used as a practical micro-automation and Lambda assistant tool in Excel eSports scenarios such as MEWC style competitions. In Excel competitions, speed matters. Players need fast ways to format data, apply logic, reuse formulas, and organize their work without repeatedly clicking through the ribbon or rewriting code. D4E approaches this by treating Excel actions as data actions. Small, reusable, executable units that can be triggered instantly. Let's start with ribbon automation. Under D4E, using D4E, we can execute many built-in Excel ribbon commands directly through data actions. Things like bold, italic, underline, percent style, accounting format, wrap text, alignment, and many others. These are executed using Excel's built-in command system over here. The same commands the ribbon uses internally. From the player's point of view, this feels like instant micro-automation. Instead of clicking through menus, a single action applies the change immediately. These actions can be searched, triggered with a hotkey, and reused consistently across the workbook. Let's take a look at this workbook with ribbon automation. First, we can open the workbench. As you can see, these tabs comprise many data actions that you would prepare beforehand. At the same time, as soon as you have prepared them and registered them in Excel or under D4E, they would be available in the workbench. You can refresh them and they immediately can be found in this workbench. All of them are all here under this. As you can see, these are the tab names and the individual data actions, and they can be executed here either by running in bulk or applying, or by searching first, and you can limit what you will execute or apply. So each data action simply contains an execute MSO command. This simulates most ribbon actions, but instead of mouse clicks over here, they can be executed instantly to click to keystrokes or the data workbench search. Players can also organize these actions to match their own preferences. Next, many Excel competitors rely heavily on Lambda functions, often shared by the community. With D4E, Lambdas can be packaged as data actions using define name command. This allows a player to load an entire Lambda library into the name manager in one step instead of manually pasting formulas. This means community lambdas like this, which was shared by Diarmid early and loaded here as data actions. When shared by creators, they can be reused cleanly, consistently and transparently during competition. Let's have a close look at this Lambda workbook. This is a workbook shared by Dim Early, and it shows all his lambdas in the form of data actions. And this can be shared as an XLSX file, and it will automatically be able to be loaded in D4E. And we can see, similar to the previous workbook, all these data actions containing lambdas will be available in here, and they can be loaded to the name manager easily and quickly, and using the data action workbook they can be shared or prepared early. Here's another one shared by Eric Ashton, and it contains the lambdas that he had collected from other authors as well as his own. So all the lambdas are available in the workbench, and they can be executed individually or registered in bulk. So similar to the previous Excel ribbon data automations, micro automations, the lambdas here are stored as data actions, and they can be registered in bulk. Once registered, executed using Excel formulas. Because they live as data actions, they can be reviewed, searched, and organized alongside other automations. Next, let's talk about VBA. In many competitions, players prepare VBA functions in advance. Traditionally, this requires opening the VBA editor, pasting code, and managing modules manually. D4E introduces a different approach. Using type equals VBA UDF indicates that we want to store VBA code. Here we see alternative ways of performing calculations, formatting, and many complex processes. Each data action registered a function name that can be executed using standard Excel formulas. Some operations can be done with VBA, so this provides important additional coverage. By organizing everything as data actions, the player works from a single unified toolbox. Looking at this closely, you can see this particular VBA UDF is simply trimming the text of any CR or LF new line breaks at the end and at the beginning. So it's just a simple public function as an SQL, and when it is registered, you will be able to use the name trim underscore CRLF with an equal sign, and it works just like a formula. So it can do, and it does that by VBA code. So the others are typically complicated to do in ribbons or even lambdas, and they're probably easier to do using VBA. And in some cases, you might not be able to do it other than through VBA. For example, here is getting external resources, and this is simply a data action, and it will be registered as a UDF under the particular function name, in this case get text, HTTP get text, and this is only purely for VBA alone and cannot be done by lambdas. So yes, this method has some advantages over micro automations and lambda automation. And similarly, once they are registered or once they're in the workbench, you can use them in the workbench, run them individually or register individually or register them by bulk. So this gives us three layers working together. Ribbon automation, Lambda libraries, or using VBA UDFs as our data action library. All of them are triggered to the same data action system: searchable, repeatable, fast, and transparent. There are cases where Excel does not allow a ribbon command to be automated directly. When that happens, D4E simply falls back to a type equals VBA data action. This provides broader coverage than ribbon-only tools while keeping everything visible and auditable. The important point is this: D4E does not replace Excel skills, it accelerates them. Players still design the logic, D4E removes friction. By packaging micro-automations, lambdas, and VBA utilities into reusable data actions, competitors can focus on solving the problem instead of fighting the interface. That's why D4E can function as a general-purpose micro-automation and Lambda assisted platform for Excel eSports, flexible enough for competition, transparent enough for governance, fast enough for real-time problem solving. Looking ahead, competitions like MEWC may also expand into ODBC or SQL-based challenges where players need to create or reuse SQL logic. In previous videos, we have seen that D4E already supports this through SQL data actions using the same model as micro automations. To summarize, we have demonstrated the features of D4E SQLs that can allow it to become a practical third-party micro-automation, Lambda and VBA tool for MEWC eSports competition. Thanks for watching.